Hello everyone, my name is Bailey Glover and I will be your instructor this semester. In this course we'll cover complex topics relating to the ways that plants influence our everyday life. In doing so, we will discuss sacred plants which have been largely stigmatized by the Western world. Please note, this course is not condoning the use of illegal substances. However, we will seek to clarify misconceptions about the current status of illicit substances in the Americas. Please make sure to execute professionalism as we discuss these complex topics. As I said before, my name is Bailey Glover and I am a current PhD student in the Department of Geography. I'm a Florida native. I grew up on the Treasure Coast and I'm of Cuban, Colombian, and Swedish descent. As a geographer, I utilize geospatial analysis to study food access. I also work with LGBTQIA+ youth in a study focused on understanding the relationship between rurality and mental health outcomes. Some other things about me include that I play multiple instruments, I have a dachshund named Captain Crunch, Cappy for short, and I have family on 3 continents. In this course, we'll learn a variety of topics. We'll discuss how plants have been used for a variety of purposes throughout history, and we'll also focus on how they've been stigmatized in the global West. More specifically, we'll go over how mind-altering plants have been described as drugs, and we'll investigate other topics that have had far-reaching political and environmental impacts. As such, by the end of this course, you should be able to understand the origin and cultural significance of sacred plants, recognize the role of traditional healing, develop opinions on complex political and environmental issues, and describe the importance of emerging organic food markets and food accessibility. While there are no required textbooks for this course, here are the 2 recommended textbooks. The first, Plants of the Gods, goes over various sacred plants we will cover. The second, Closing the Food Gap, is a comprehensive analysis of food insecurity in the United States. The grading distribution and scale for the course are as follows. A syllabus quiz worth 5 points and 5% of your grade will be administered via Canvas. A grade of 100% is needed to unlock the remainder of the course. 12 discussion posts will also be administered through Canvas. These will pertain to various topics covered each week. 4 points for writing your own post and 1 point for replying to at least one classmate. Next, 12 homework assignments will be given to help students further explore lecture materials. These will be 10 points each. You will have 1 week to complete each assignment. Additionally, we'll have a closed book exam for a midterm covering all course context by the day of the exam. It will be administered via Canvas. The exam will comprise of a mix of multiple choice, short answer, and short essay responses. This course utilizes the plus-minus grading scheme. A grading scale and GPA equivalent is shown. Please note that a grade of C- is not a qualifying grade for major, minor, gen ed, or college basic distribution credits. For further information, see UF's grading policy. In this course, students will complete a research paper about a special course topic. The minimum length is 3 pages and must have proper references. Topics must be approved by the instructor via an online submission with details about the topic. 5 points for the outline and 95 points for the final report. More details about the final report will be given as we move further into the semester. Here are some course policies to keep in mind. While late submissions will not be accepted for the midterm exam or final report, late submissions of assignments can be accepted, but 10% of the points will be deducted per day after the due date. Please note that late submissions do not include discussion posts. Should a student wish to dispute any grade received in this class, the dispute must be in writing and submitted to the instructor within a week of receiving the grade. The dispute should set out clearly the grade that the student believes the assignment should have received, as well as why they believe they should have received such a grade. To contact the instructor for this class, please utilize the Canvas messaging platform. Please be aware that as UF students, we are bound by the UF Honor Pledge, which states that we as members of the university hold ourselves and our peers to the highest standards of honor and integrity. The following pledge is either required or implied. On my honor, I have neither given nor received unauthorized aid in doing this assignment. Please keep this in mind as you work through the semester. Some other information includes accommodations for students with disabilities and counseling and mental health resources. Students requesting classroom accommodations must first register with the Dean of Students office. The Dean of Students office will provide documentation to the student who must then provide this documentation to the instructor. If you need any reasonable accommodations, please feel free to reach me. Counseling and mental health services are also available. Students facing difficulties completing the course or who are in need of counseling or urgent help should contact the on-campus Counseling and Wellness Center. While it is the beginning of the semester, course evaluations are extremely important. At the end of the course, you will be asked to complete an evaluation. This evaluation is extremely helpful in how I edit the course to be more helpful in future classes. To complete your evaluation at the end of the course, please travel to evaluations.ufl.edu. Although I'm sure the last thing anybody wants to hear right now is COVID-19, I thought it was important to include a small statement describing the nature of how unpredictable these times are. As such, I understand that certain situations may arise throughout the semester that create hardship. If you become impacted by the ongoing pandemic, please contact the course instructor to provide documentation and discuss a fair course of action. Here is a suggested course schedule. Students should note that there may be changes to the schedule at any moment. The first half of the course will cover sacred plants. This includes DMT and ayahuasca, cannabis, peyote, and psychedelic mushrooms, and finally the midterm exam. The second half of the course will cover organic foods and GMOs, greenwashing, food accessibility, race and food insecurity, and finally will lead up to the final paper due date. Here are some important dates to remember. Assignments and discussion posts are due Mondays at 11:59 p.m. The midterm exam is on October 19th, 2020. The final project report outline should be submitted by 11/16/20. And finally, the final project report should be submitted by 12/14/20. Thank you for watching this course overview. Please click Next to continue with the module.